Hi there and welcome to Dinos Vault once again. This is a battle royale of the 150 to 160cc category motorcycles available here in our Indian market. Now I call this a battle royale because I'm going to include all the bikes falling in this segment within rupees 1 lakh. We'll exclude the likes of R15 and CBR 150R because they belong to a different class of bikes despite having the same displacement. We'll also exclude the Phaser version 2.0, the Gixxer SF and the Pulsar AS 150 because I've already made a separate comparison video for them. You can watch that by clicking on the link appearing on the screen currently. I'm going to divide this video into two parts because covering the entire lineup in one video would make the video very lengthy. In part 1, we'll be checking out the FZ version 2.0, the Gixxer, the Hornet 160R, Avenger Street 150 as well as the 220. And in part 2, we'll be checking out the RTR 160, the Pulsar 150 and 180, the Unicorn 160, Hero Xtreme Sports and the Yamaha SZ RR version 2.0. The first three among the lot are almost identical in terms of their character, pricing and even the rear tire diameter. I've included the Avenger in this comparo because I believe it is a game-changing launch from Bajaj. Now if you've seen my previous comparison video, you'll understand that my approach or my way of looking at things is different. I believe each one of us is unique. Each of us have our own body stature, have our own riding style and have our own personal taste when it comes to looking at things. A bike might appeal to me according to my personal taste. It may suit my body stature and riding style, but the same bike might not be enjoyed or loved by you just as much as I do. This is the reason I always rephrase the question which is best and change it to which is best for you or which is best for me. Now my job is to keep you informed of the USPs of each bike such that your decision making becomes that much easier. The ultimate decision, in my personal opinion, has to be made only after you have personally taken a test ride of the bike you're planning to buy. Now, with all this complicated explanation out of the way, let's get started with the Battle Royale Part 1. First up on our list is FZ version 2.0. Now, the FZ was a path-breaking, earth-shattering launch here in India because it was the bike that introduced a proper street naked culture to us Indians. Now, over the years, it has been mightily successful, which is why we see other manufacturers adopting the same formula. There is something that separates the trendsetters from those who follow an existing trend, and that holds true for the FZ. Currently, we have both the carbureted model as well as the new version 2.0 fuel injected model available in our market. Now, both the bikes are exceptionally good. Now the V2, even with a decrease in displacement, performs well because of its weight being reduced when compared to its older model. In fact, it is the lightest, I believe, in this entire Comparo series, weighing in at just 132 kgs. Now, talking about the pros that the FZ enjoys over the rest of its competition in this comparo is that it is a tested and tried formula that has won over people's trust by proving itself time and again over the years. Now, both the V1 and the V2 offer great engine refinement, a strong mid-range, decent power, lighter clutch, smoother gearbox, nice maneuverability in city traffic, and overall superb build quality. The V2 also happens to be the only bike in the 150 to 160cc category under rupees 1 lakh that offers fuel injection. Now, fuel injection results in better performance as well as better fuel efficiency, so that comes in really handy. The FZ right from the beginning had a 140 section rear tire that offers superb road grip. However, with the V2, the tire gets a new tread pattern to offer better road grip on wet surfaces. Design wise, the FZS V2 with the new paint schemes looks absolutely stunning and gorgeous. You can check out my new paint schemes video by clicking on the link appearing on the screen right now. Now, talking about the downside or cons of this bike, the V2 doesn't get a Kickstarter. It only has the electric start button, but that's not a major issue because fuel injection also enhances the cold startability of a bike. As long as you get your battery serviced every 2 months, there won't be or there shouldn't be any problem. Now, secondly, the pillion seat with the split seat setup might not be as comfortable as a unibody seat layout of the Hornet or the Pulsar 150, where we get more room for the pillion. Now, mileage wise, you can expect around 45 to 50 kmpl depending on the way you ride. Please check my mileage tips link in the description portion below. Also, psychologically, the lower displacement of 149cc and power output of around 13 bhp does play on your mind, and you wish there was more power available on offer. Now, these are the only cons that I can think of or come up with for the FZ. Now, coming to the Gixxer hit the market like a storm because it was the only bike that came across as a worthy competitor to the FZ after years of monopoly. The bike offers superb performance, is lightweight, has slightly more power on board, it feels zippy off the mark, and is easily flickable in city traffic. Now it also comes equipped with Suzuki's SEP or Suzuki Eco Performance technology, and as such it manages to deliver a mileage of around 50 to 55 kmpl if ridden properly. Now the Gixxer also costs less when compared to the FZ, but offers more fun with better pickup and acceleration. Now Gixxer is the only bike in the entire segment to get a twin port exhaust, which sounds great as well. The Gixxer offers lower seat height than the FZ and the Hornet and is therefore more suitable for shorter riders. Now, talking about the cons of the Gixxer, the build quality isn't as good as that of the Hornet or the FZ. The seat is not as comfortable as that of the Avenger Street Twins or the Hornet. There is not much room for the pillion either. This Gixxer gets a slightly stiffer suspension, which means better performance, but the Avenger Street Twins offer maximum comfort in the shootout in terms of suspension as well as seating. All in all, the Gixxer is the most awarded bike in India to date, and that speaks of the bike's universal appeal across the nation. Now coming to the CB Hornet 160R from Honda, which happens to be the newest entrant in the segment. I mentioned this in my review and I'll say it again. Being last to the segment has its own set of advantages of observing the shortcomings in other products and trying to fine tune your own product to overtake the rest in the market out there. Now the Hornet comes in with all guns blazing. It carries the Honda badging that has people swooning over it. All the loyal Honda fans were eagerly waiting for this product because this bike comes across as a worthy competitor against the likes of Gixxer and FZ and even the RTR for that matter. The Hornet is nearly perfect and offers more power than the FZ or Gixxer at 15.6 bhp. The Hornet is also the first bike that complies with Bharat Stage 4 regulation norms. As a result, it is more environment friendly. It also looks bigger and offers more road presence when compared to the rest in this competition, barring of course the Avenger Street 150. The Hornet also comes with a nice and comfortable seat that offers great comfort and room both for the rider as well as the pillion. The pickup and acceleration is outstanding. The clutch is ultralight and the gearbox is super smooth. There is not even a hint of vibration, at least up to cruising speeds. It offers superb high-speed stability like that of the FZ. It is easily flickable like the Gixxer and offers the sheer thrill and excitement of an RTR. It handles brilliantly, and I personally feel that the Hornet 160R has all that it takes to become a whole new benchmark in this segment. Now talking about the cons for the Hornet 160R, you can hardly find any with this bike, but the suspension is slightly on the stiffer side to offer superb performance, but you would need to trade off some of your comfort as a result. The switchgear isn't all that great and we don't get an engine kill switch. Now seat height is slightly higher when compared to that of the Gixxer or FZ, which means the shorter riders might not be all that comfortable with this bike, and pricing too is slightly higher when compared to the rest of its competition. Now coming to the last bike in the part 1 of the Battle Royale Shootout series is my personal favorite, the Avenger Street 150. Now Bajaj have always tried to offer something new and introduce different kinds of biking cultures to the masses here in our nation. They gave us the Pulsars that came across as street fighters, then the Avenger series, which were decent cruisers. Now recently they even introduced the AS150 and AS200 as adventure sports or dual sports motorcycles. Now I agree that the AS series do not classify as proper dual sports motorcycles, but at least the styling and other elements work as an intro to that culture. With the Avenger Street series, however, Bajaj have taken the game to a whole new level. Over the recent years, the Avenger has seen a sudden surge in sales because it offers car-like comfort in the horrible city traffic. We see many people buying an Avenger because of the great comfort it has on offer. Now, both the Street 220 and 150 with their dark custom theme look exceedingly sexy. You might say that the design is inspired by the Harley Street 750, but the Avenger series was born long before the Street 750 was launched here in India and is actually based on the Kawasaki Eliminator concept, which has its actual origins dating way back to the 80s. The Street 220 is very competitively priced. It is just dearer by a few thousand rupees when compared to the rest of the bikes in the shootout or comparison video. As a result, it offers so much value and excitement and comfort. However, because of its higher engine capacity, we'll leave the Street 220 out of this equation and look only at the Street 150, as that seems to fit the bill more appropriately in the shootout. Now, looks wise, the Street 150 exudes a classy yet sporty look. There's no other bike that looks like this in and around this price segment. Attention on the roads is guaranteed with this bike. The bike also comes across as a complete package and also completely redefines the value for money proposition. This bike carries the lowest price tag among the motorcycles featured in this video. It has a nice and refined engine, a smooth gearbox, a lighter clutch, and decent power to offer adequate fun in the city. The bike is vibration free at least up to reasonable cruising speeds. Among the Street 150 and 220, I usually suggest my viewers to go with the 220 because with the unmatched comfort and superb riding dynamics that these bikes have on offer, sooner or later you end up wishing and hoping for more power. So the 220 holds good if you like to zip through the city streets during the weekdays and hit the highways on the weekends. And if you are going to ride predominantly in the city, then Street 150 would suffice to meet your needs. Mileage wise, you can expect around 45 to 50 kmpl from the Street 150 and 40 to 45 kmpl from the Street 220 if you ride the bikes appropriately. Please do check my mileage tips in the description portion below. Talking about its cons, we don't get tubeless tires and we don't get Kickstarter with this bike. But the self start hardly fails, and as mentioned before, so long as you get your battery serviced every 2 months, there shouldn't be any problem. At its price, the bike offers way too much than what we can expect, but Bajaj could have offered a higher priced variant for both the Street 150 and 220 with features like rear disc, tubeless tires, and ABS. Now I know it sounds a bit too greedy, but currently the Avengers are really making their presence felt and rocking the sales charts, so we might even end up getting what we want sooner. Well, that's about it for now. I'm going to conclude the part 1 right here. Please do check out part 2 as well, where I compare the rest of the lot with one another. I just hope you found this video useful. Until next time, this is Dino saying ciao. Take care, God bless, and ride safe.